what happens when a brand built on exclusivity becomes ordinary? Ralph Lauren wasn't just selling clothes, it was selling a lifestyle. It was selling old money elegance, East Coast wealth, Ivy League privilege, and American aristocracy. For decades, Ralph Lauren represented the American dream at its most luxurious, a world where your polo shirt wasn't just a shirt, it was a symbol. But what happens when that symbol is everywhere? When the logo is splashed across clearance racks and fast fashion dupes flood the market? When your brand, once reserved for the elite, becomes overexposed? That's the story of Ralph Lauren. Today we're unpacking what really happened to Ralph Lauren and why it's one of the most fascinating cautionary tales in luxury fashion history. Because Ralph Lauren didn't fail because the clothes weren't good or because the branding wasn't clever. It failed because it lost its scarcity. In luxury, perception is everything, and the second your exclusivity slips, so does your value. At its peak, Ralph Lauren dressed American presidents, royal families, and the cultural elite. Its campaigns were cinematic, aspirational, capturing this untouchable world of polo matches in the Hamptons and cocktails as at the Plaza. It was more than fashion, it was a narrative people paid to buy into. But as the years went by, Ralph Lauren made a critical mistake many heritage brands make. It chased the mass market. The brand started expanding too fast. Fragrances, outlet stores, lower-priced sub-labels, it diluted its image. What was once a symbol of old money became accessible to anyone with a mall nearby. And while that might have been good for short-term profits, it destroyed the mythology. And in luxury, mythology is currency. The problem wasn't just overexposure, it was also a lack of evolution. While other houses like Dior, Gucci, and Saint Laurent took risks and reinvented their identities for new generations, Ralph Lauren clung to its original image, the polo shirt, the Americana fantasy. But when culture shifted and luxury consumers wanted edgier, rarer, more discreetly luxurious pieces, Ralph Lauren didn't adapt, and here's where the psychology gets interesting. In luxury, people don't just buy products, they buy what those products say about them. When Ralph Lauren became too available, it stopped being a marker of status and became something you wore because it was comfortable or nostalgic. And no one aspires to nostalgia, they aspire to relevance. Even today, Ralph Lauren is trying to recapture that lost magic. You'll see it experimenting with new collections, re-entering fashion weeks, tapping younger celebrities, but it's hard to resurrect exclusivity once it's gone. Luxury isn't about logos or price tags. It's about access. And when everyone has access, no one wants it anymore. Let's be clear, Ralph Lauren is still a respected name. The brand still has beautiful pieces, still carries history. But in the ruthless world of luxury fashion, history alone isn't enough. This story matters because it's a reminder of how fragile luxury status really is. That what makes a brand aspirational isn't just quality or design, it's mystery, scarcity, and the fantasy of belonging to a world most people will never touch. Ralph Lauren gave people that fantasy, and when it stopped protecting it, the brand stopped mattering. If you found this breakdown fascinating, follow us on Instagram at GTWJmag for more deep fashion analysis and commentary you won't find anywhere else. And subscribe, because we're not just talking about clothes here, we're talking about culture, power, and the psychology of status. And it's deeper than just Ralph Lauren. This is a pattern we've seen again and again in luxury. A brand rises because it represents something rare, not just a product, but an identity. Old Celine under Phoebe Philo, Tom Ford's Gucci, Margiella's anonymity era. These brands weren't selling items, they were selling codes. Codes that only a select group could decode. The moment those codes become public knowledge, the moment the brand chases virality, mass appeal, or trendy collaborations for quick relevance, it chips away at the very thing that made it powerful. Ralph Lauren's decline isn't about bad designs. It's about what happens when a house forgets who it was built for and starts trying to be everything for everyone. This is why we're seeing a cultural return to stealth wealth, logoless luxury, and rare archival pieces. People with real money don't want what's everywhere. They want what feels personal, private, and a little elusive. The Birkin is valuable not because it's the best bag, but because you can't just walk in and buy one. The Rose $6,000 cashmere coats aren't viral because of TikTok. They're desirable because they whisper wealth in a language only a few people speak. Ralph Lauren once spoke that language fluently. It created a visual lexicon of American wealth. The country club sweaters, the equestrian imagery, the lakeside mansions. But in chasing numbers over narrative, it silenced its own voice. Now, with new leadership and a generation obsessed with nostalgic luxury, there's a rare window for Ralph Lauren to reclaim that identity. But it won't happen through influencer gifting or viral collabs. It will happen through discipline, through cutting back, refining the product lines, restoring the scarcity, and recentering the brand's mythology around the world it used to own. Because luxury isn't a trend. It's a world you have to be invited into, and no one wants to be in a world that's open to just anyone. If you want to keep decoding these unspoken rules of fashion culture with us, follow us on Instagram at GTWJmag, and don't forget to subscribe, where fashion thinks deeper.